It's the New OGs. The New OGs is a state Madison entertainment production and is brought to you by Solar Masters. Look, Illinois is changing how people get their electricity, and Solar Masters is helping homeowners in Illinois take advantage of a program that allows them to get solar power at no cost. Listen, if you're a single-family homeowner in the state of Illinois, you can lower your electric bill, you can raise the value of your home, and you can do something good for the environment without paying a single dollar out of your pocket to do so. In fact, they can only work with you if they can save you money. Solar Masters is a SunPower dealer, an American panel maker. It's a Black-owned company. SunPower's got over 30 years of solar experience, and for the end of 2020, they're also giving a $1,000 cash rebate to anyone who goes solar.
Hey, Bobby.
Yes, sir.
Bobby, I'm not as fired up as I normally am.
Yeah, usually you're pretty excited about all that information.
I'm happy for the people because it sounded like you said they could save money on their electricity bill.
Yep, save money on the bill. That's the thing.
Raise the value of their house.
It's going to raise the value. The Department of Energy says like 4 to 5%.
Do something good for the environment.
The environment's going to be helped by having to not use nuclear power or coal power. Yep.
And they go get $1,000.
And they'll give you $1,000 just for going solar. And it's a Black-owned company in Illinois. The only Black-owned solar company in Illinois.
Man, I'm down because I was feeling sick the other day and I was scared. I thought I had COVID.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, but then I got my test results back and the nigga's clean and this is better than that. Yeah! Let me tell you.
This is better than XL testing negative for having coronavirus.
That's even better, man, because they didn't give me $1,000. They just gave me good news.
Here's the thing. Even if you don't own your home, but you know somebody who does in Illinois, they have a referral program that even pays out as much as $500 per referral. So head over to www.gosolarmasters.com and get in contact for a free consultation. Order for someone that you know. We are also brought to you by People of Comedy. That is a network that we are on right now. It's James Webb on the boards. The People of Comedy is amazing. They've got so many great programs on there, so many different podcasts from all over, diverse group of people, in studio, man on the street. They've been broadcasting podcasts. They've been broadcasting the protests. Make sure you check them out on Twitch, on YouTube. Check them out on Twitter and on Instagram and find out when their new stuff is coming out. People of Comedy is a great network. Get behind them. They've been producing a bunch of great shit from Chicago.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, man. It's good to be here. We are alive for at least one more Friday. What is up, everybody? How we feeling? XL? COVID-free XL?
Yeah. Like, hey, man, I'm feeling good. I thought I had the heebie-jeebies.
You do the deep in the nose test, or you do the?
Yeah, man, I did the deep in the nose test, and you know what's fucked up? They made me do it to myself.
Oh,
they made me do it to myself. Like, stick it up farther.
They couldn't even do it for you. You had to masturbate your COVID test.
Has, a safe ass. You pull up the drive-through where you normally get your drugs at. I go there to that CVS quite regularly, and I didn't turn the volume down on this. I apologize. Anyway, they knew me, so the nurse, the assistant, the pharmacy assistant, helped me through the whole thing. It wasn't that hard. You basically just go up, you twist it around, you hold it there for, I think it was 10 seconds. She just had a clock. I don't know how long it was, but you have to hold it.
Until she felt good about it. She was like, yeah. All right, any more than this is going to be embarrassing.
Hey, let me tell you something. I still, like, right here, I did that shit Tuesday, and right here in my nose, I still feel that shit a little bit. And I did it to myself, so I can't imagine what happens if somebody else did it.
And you put a lot of things up your nose, so you.
Yeah, man. I thought it was like, ooh, when was the last time I did some cocaine? That ain't gonna affect the test, is it?
You tell me that was a fear.
As long as you don't do it 20 minutes before the test is taken, you can as much.
That don't sound scientific at all, my nigga. That don't sound like it has no science.
That's the rule, though. Yeah, that's the rule.
You're healthy, but the cocaine has coronavirus. That's the voice of Dwayne Murphy. If you're listening, if you're watching, Dwayne Murphy Jr. is with us live today, aka Danny Lime, in the studio telling us how he feels. Yes. If you're not familiar, I'm gonna ask you some stuff about yourself. But the reason why we wanted you on the show is partially because we think you're cool as do. We've enjoyed everything with the Hood. Well, originally it was the Hood Nerds podcast. Before that, there was a show that you guys we're crushing at Laugh Factory. And so we've been kind of watching you guys since then. And we always, X and I always thought that you guys were a generate like from a generation standpoint, we're like a nice younger complement to the same types of thought processes that we have. Like we see you guys are like, I get that. I understand that frustration because we were just that frustrated like 10-15 years ago. And so when the protesting and all that started this summer and really kicked into full gear, you were the main man out on the street for People of Comedy, really documenting everything that was going on. And so, we've been really eager to have a chance to have you on personally. So we're glad to have you here, man.
Very excited.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate y'all having me and stuff. I'm a big fan of this show too. Man, like I definitely we were out all on the summer, me and James, the main producer for People of Comedy, and it was just like at first I kind of just hopped on because there wasn't anybody available, but we were out there and then we got to talking and we were just like, man, we would go out to the protest and then we'd come home and watch the news and then like share news articles and we'd be like, that did not happen. Like what are they talking about? It is not like they always painted the picture, whether it was locally or around the country, of these protests just being, how they, the trigger words, you know what I mean? They're, we're animalistic, it's controversial, we were confrontational,
savages.
Always savages, all that shit, you know what I'm saying? Looting, burning, all that
thugs.
Stuff.
The protesters were confrontational with the police.
Yes,
they don't bring up the fact the police showed up with a tank.
Dude, you know what I'm saying, dude? We would stay out there. We be looking at these, like, I'm telling you, kids, bro. Like, literally, they be like,
protest signs, and y'all got a tank, and we the motherfuckers that's confrontational.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Without
set shit off.
Yeah, exactly. And they looking at us. So that was our motivation to go out all the time, because we was just like, this is not. We went to one protest, and they were handing out plates of ceviche, nigga. All right, ceviche, fucking smoked ham. You know what I'm saying? Like, literally, I was.
If you were in France in the late 1700s, the people who rose up there would have rose up against y'all in your form. Like, y'all got ceviche?
Down with the what the fuck?
Hold on, before I protest, let me go get this appetizer real quick.
Kill that nigga.
But yeah, because like that was the vibe though. Like you knew that like these protests were about, people who aren't being heard getting their message out. So that was our motivation to go out there all the time. And so we probably went out to, man, it was a lot. Like especially the first month, like literally it was like every day for like, and like 2 protests a day. It was like open. It was like micing. It's like how I do with open mics.
Yeah, I remember that because James would be like, well, there's this one protest and then there's going to be another protest later. I'm like, y'all doing back-to-back protests?
Yeah, there were
batteries. How much battery do you have for
there were some days where we were out. We went to like, I think there was one day.
We did 4.
We did 4 in one day, yeah. And we couldn't, by the way, we couldn't have done it without the help of a bunch of folks around the scene too. Jamie Schreiner and Trevor Cook and a bunch of other folks who
Luis Cardenas,
oh my God, Aaron Nadell,
Aaron Nadell,
yeah, so
Jaime brought us the one.
That
was the best one we went to.
Fucking great, dude! Oh my God,
the dude that let his name was Pastor Phil Jackson.
Phil Jackson, bro.
Wow.
Yeah, bro. I was like,
please tell me that motherfucker was on some Zen shit.
Yeah, he was. That nigga was smooth as hell, bro. Like it was, you know what I mean? But that's the thing, like we were like in the community, you know what I'm saying? And that's what you don't see on TV on the big networks and shit. Like it's a community, Go ahead.
I'm about to give you, because I think you really deserve roses for the shit that you did. Like all of you guys, everybody that you just named, but like you did some comedy shit with it. You did a bunch of real shit with it. And it shit wasn't always nice for y'all, man. Like I don't want to bring up the negative parts of it, but there was a couple times, at least one time, you guys kind of felt ambushed. Am I right?
Yeah. The Columbus.
Yeah. We went Columbus to statue, the first Columbus statue incident, right?
Yeah.
Changed
it was like we had like we did. We had like tiny moments throughout. Like sometimes we'd see some. Like there was one time where like this cop car tried to like go through the protest. And then people started climbing on the car and everything. Like we saw little stuff, but that day in particular,
I think we were still in the studio when you guys did that, because I feel like we were in the studio because I got home trying to watch your shit, and wasn't like it was already on, and you guys were on messages like James was on messages like what the fuck or something like that, and I was like, what did I miss? It's like James had to leave to go to the protest right after we did our show.
I think we did like a midweek or something. I forget what it was. We did something. It was like one of the only times we've been in the studio all summer long.
Yeah.
And it was on that one where he's like, all right, I got to break out of here.
That's
and then later in the day, he was like,
It was
yeah.
It was like early in the day.
Fuck, yep.
Yeah, we got out there. I think you talking about Columbus, right? So we got out there, and it was like the vibe was just, it was kind of weird because like, so we had gone to enough where we knew a lot of the people, like that's the protest, you know what I'm saying? Like we had character, like, you know, we would like have characters in our minds, like, oh, who are we going to see today? And like, it was a lot of the same people. And you even saw in that video, like, you know, people were coming up to it, dapping us up, you know what I mean? Like they knew us, but then there was also this group that like didn't know us and they would like be like weird with us. So it was kind of like, we kept like, there was one point we're walking, like filming like we normally do. And then somebody had like an umbrella and they were like literally trying to obscure our filming. There was like weird shit. People were like, who are y'all? And it was just like, the people we knew all came up and were like, what's up? You know what I mean? You're talking like protests, organizers and shit. And then as we went along, and then when we got up to the statue, I remember we got up to right before, actually, I'll backtrack a little bit. Right before the statue, we filmed this moment where they were in the field. And then we saw all these signs kind of create this like barricade around people. And then you could peer into it and you could see me looking in going, yo, this looks like some crazy shit that's about to happen because they're all huddled in these signs and shit, right? We go up the hill and I see the statue and this is the part that's on camera because it's right before we ended our feed. But I looked at James and I go, James, you know what's about to happen right now. I go, James, do you know what's about to happen, dude? Like for real. And he was like, yeah, we knew they were gonna take that shit down, dude. And it's just we felt ambushed because like everybody we knew, all the organizers that we've seen week in, week out were just normal. Like they were just as shocked as we were. Yeah. There was just another group that like was in there.
If there's any chance that other group wasn't protesters at all, but just somebody there to make you guys look bad? Because they seemed really organized. With some people that you guys didn't see nowhere else.
That's where I don't know. That's the thing. We really don't know. Go ahead, Jim.
I feel like, you know, you want to talk about agent provocateur from both sides. You know, that I really strongly feel like the people who were doing like all the, you know, quote unquote violence, throwing rocks and shit. I mean, I guess it's violent, but they were, I feel like they were actually there to do that. With intent. They weren't, I don't think they were cops. You know, a cop lost his eye in all of that. Like, and
right.
Yeah, they'll do that to make the whole thing look bad.
But see, that's the thing. Cops that's, you know, if you believe that, then you can't believe that the police are a brotherhood who, you know, will protect each other at all costs. As
a progressive person, I think it's dishonest to act like there's not people who are far enough left that they won't also incite violence, right?
Well, of course.
Sure. The only reason why I inquire is because that level of organization and they're like to have the forethought to use your umbrella to block a camera because you guys are trying to do this whole covert thing,
right?
And they did it all in a smooth fashion and you guys didn't recognize any of them. I'm not saying that the left can't have that, but it's weird that you guys did like 100 protests and that was the only time you ran into some shit that was.
I will say that, you know, I don't think it's I've seen some psyop shit like day one when I was out with Jarrell downtown, you know, there were the pallets of bricks and all that in front of buildings.
What's some of the weird shit? Yeah.
Like there was a lot of that. There were dudes that like clearly looked like buff white dudes who were for sure police officers, like in their 40s and shit, like wearing like backwards hats and stuff. Like, how do you do, fellow kids? You know,
like Black Lives Matter.
Yeah. Dude, exactly. Like I saw a lot of that, especially the first couple days, like May 31st, June 1st.
Ron, what should we emphasize here? The lives or the matter?
What are we doing here? Is it
Black lives?
No justice. Black lives. What was it? No justice. No what? No justice. No what? What is it? No peace. Yeah. No peace.
You know whose life matters? Dicka's life.
Dicka.
Hey, cops. I'm gonna tell you this just because this shit is bad that you do it. It's boring. I want you to step your game up. if you have your hat backwards, we know you don't fuck with us.
Yeah.
No,
Thank you.
Niggas
don't do that no more.
Yeah.
Black dudes that wears their hat backwards, because those black dudes will roast that nigga. And
Right.
if you're a white dude with a black friend and he lets you wear your hat backwards, then that black dude's probably a Republican and he not really one of us.
Or he's not your friend.
He's
Exactly.
setting your ass up. That's what he's doing.
Hey, man.
He's setting your ass up.
Yeah, you're right, man. So kinfolk ain't always kinfolk. You know how
Yeah,
it is.
right.
Think about it. Think about any white dude that you know in the comedy scene or something that would hang out with black dudes. Hey, think of one of them wearing their hat to the back.
Oh, I roast
We
the
try
nigga
and
immediately.
stop them doing most of the white shit they do already. How many times we told Sam Norton to get rid of them fucking vests?
No, man, I think the leprechaun look it works great for him.
I mean, it fits, but man, you get pigeonhole
Get rid
hardcore
of
with
it, man.
that.
It's all right, man. People just don't want. They don't want to listen to black people. People don't want to listen to us, man. You know why? Because we're always right.
Dwayne,
and I have this theory.
Yeah, I'm gonna hear this one. I like.
We are always right. You know what I'm saying? Listen, we may not deliver the message the way you want to hear it, but 9 times out of 10, black people are right, dude. We read the fucking. We're just a people. We read the room. You know what I'm saying? We see it, bro. And then that's what the backlash is all about.
Shout out to the triple OG, Robert Hines. He said some shit to me a while ago, and the shit fucked me up. And
Rob Hines loves shout outs.
Hell yeah.
He said, you know, you ever have those times when your woman say something to you, like, hey, you probably shouldn't do that, or your sister might say something to you when you say you want to do this, and they give you that, don't do that, and you always brush it off because they're always extra cautious and shit. It's like, you should listen to the motherfuckers sometime.
Yeah.
And he said, because women see different angles that men don't because they have to. They're constantly prey. They're constantly being preyed on from every angle. So they looking at the whole room. When you a big giant motherfucker, you might not pay attention to nobody in the room because you don't give a shit about anybody in the room. But she sees all these motherfuckers from every angle because they're always coming at her. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what women have to deal with. Anyway, my point is saying that to go back to what you were saying about black people always being right. It's the same shit in life. Like, I can walk, if I'm driving, I can spot a cop on every motherfucking block. On the highway when I'm driving, I see the motherfuckers in the undercovers. I spot all the motherfuckers.
Right.
And I don't have a superpower. I just have to.
You just suffered long enough. It's in your DNA now, right?
I swear to God, this shit blew my mind. I was on I-88 going into Chicago, and I was a half mile past the exit. And I saw a white car in my rearview mirror coming on the exit with like intent. The motherfucker had speed. I immediately dropped down to the speed limit and watched the state trooper, which was at least a half mile in my motherfucking rearview mirror, if not more. And I recognized that motherfucker as soon as he came off the ramp. It's just like a sixth sense, nigga.
Oh, dude, we went I was just out of town this weekend, right? I went to the woods to piggyback off your story, and we're driving. It got dark, you know what I mean? So sundown. But it got dark. And we drove past this cop car, and I just go, he about to turn around. Like, I just said it, you know what I mean? And then everybody was like, what are you talking about? I was like, just watch. And then we were kind of lost.
Were you with white people?
We had to stop. Yeah, it was niggas in the car, but they weren't like, hey, you know what I mean? Don't worry about it. Right. That's why I said something, because I was like, it was niggas in the car, but we also had white people. So I was like,
right.
But the ratio was off.
The guard was down.
Niggas.
The guard could have been down on some people. They were like, there's enough white people with us. We got to be cool.
Nah, you got to warn niggas all the time, bro. You got to stay alert. You know what I'm saying? Like that. But that's what I said. I was like, I looked at the car. I go, he gonna turn around. And then we stopped for a second so we could look at our GPS. And in the 2 minutes that we were stopped, this nigga pulled up and he was like, y'all all right? Literally straight. You know how they do. You know what I'm saying? Y'all all right? Blah, blah, blah. And they looked at me like, how did you fucking know? I was like, because what the fuck did you think was gonna happen? You know what I'm saying?
Because I exist and those are cops.
Thank you.
They don't live in a world where they have to think about that shit.
Yeah.
Like, when I get an address, one of the first things I do, like if I'm like, I gotta go here to be somewhere, but one of the first things I do, I look and see, like, well, let me make sure all my lights and shit work.
Dude, when I used to get show requests to go out to the suburbs,
small white town or whatever, this little suburban area or something, yeah, I'm getting pulled over. So let me make sure my shit together.
Yeah, suburban show requests. I'm always checking that shit out, man. Dwayne, you're not originally from Chicago, right?
No, sir. I'm from my family, mostly from Brooklyn.
Okay, you're originally from New York.
Yes, sir.
Nice.
Yes,
sir. How long have you lived in Chicago?
I had about 2.5 years.
Okay. Was there, I mean, when the pandemic hit, I mean, you're locked into Chicago now, obviously, because you stayed here. I mean, there's a lot of people who, because of the pandemic, ended up back in a place they may have originated in, and then took civil action there. I mean, were you active at all in protest or in any of this stuff before you got to Chicago, or is it just something where like the timing of being here when the moment hit and having that happen just kind of like moved the needle forward for you?
No, this is something I guess my family has kind of been involved in like most of my life. You know what I mean? I come from but XL knows this. Everybody in my family are like ministers and stuff like that. So I've been involved in a lot of different type of like stuff growing up and everything.
Sure.
I know there's a point in my life where I was just like, I'm just living it. You know what I'm saying? So you just whatever. It was something. A lot of it had to do with the fact that I was already going through like a tough situation when like the George Floyd thing happened. You know what I mean? Like not to get into, we talked a little bit about it. Details
right.
I lost a friend. So I was kind of already in the midst of something like that. And this was stuff me and him had discussed for a long time, you know, racial and insensitivities and everything like that. So when it happened, May 31st, which is crazy, when James went out that first night, I was in Texas. I was at his funeral.
Okay.
And I was talking to his mother and everything. And we just got, the discussion came up and I was just like, yeah, this is something we were like very passionate about. It's something she was passionate about. And so I like, when I came back, I was just like, basically what got me into going every day with James was him. Like I said before, somebody couldn't do it. But then like, I really was just like, you know what? I've been involved in these things and just been, I felt like an auxiliary piece. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, this is my mom's fight or my my mom protested back when like she protested for Yusuf Hawkins back in Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? My grandparents have protested, like, you know what I mean? Like they've been involved in shit forever. And I was just like, I really felt that drive of just like, oh, this is my time to be out here fighting and things like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's beautiful, man. I gotta say real quick, when you like XL noticed, I was like, hey nigga, I don't remember shit about your life. And then you said the minister shit. I was like, I do remember that.
Yeah, man, we talked about on the podcast.
I like to let you tell the whole story, but I was about to attack you.
No, we talked about that praise dance and shit, nigga. You remember? Yeah.
X was like, I like you, but I need a refresher, dog.
I just shit on you, but now let me give you some love. But that's dope that you come from like a family of activists. You just made me feel bad because I realized I came from a family of house niggas. Like nobody in my crew was protesting on my mom's side. We are all like sitting on watching like, my father actually did some shit, and it's the McNeil side of my family, but my mom's side.
I'll clarify. My dad's side was a little different. So my dad's side was more like what you're talking about. My mom was that. So my parents are divorced, so I kind of separate the two.
My parents protested by making babies. That was their protest.
There it is.
Yeah, they're like, I'm just gonna keep adding niggas. You know what I'm saying?
We're gonna mix up the gene pool. That's gonna be our protest. But no, I feel that though.
I'm glad you said that, Bobby, because that cut that you have on your shirt just says white for the whole show. So like new viewers would not know the combination. You can
it says white and black. Okay.
I've been thinking about the whole show. I was like, man, somebody this say first episode, they're gonna be real confused when Bobby says nigga.
I be freaking people out when I say nigga, man. They be getting lost on it. I'm like, listen, if Obama can say it on a podcast, I can say it in these streets.
Hey, bro. Obama been loose as hell. Can I talk about this? Obama been loose as hell in 2020, bro. He is the best stand-up. Yes. Oh my God!
He let them ride on this one. The joy in Obama's face.
Oh my God!
Quiz. I don't know why I did. I was more Malcolm. I mean, not Malcolm, Martin Luther King right there. But
my faith in Joe Biden's victory is only evident in Obama's exuberance right now. Right? Like I only feel like Joe will win because Obama seems to be so excited to talk about this nigga.
He has been roasting Trump like he was like, we had a playbook. For the pandemic. I wonder what they did with that. They probably slid it behind the door somewhere. I was like, this nigga is awesome. Def Jam shit right now.
President Obama is telling these jokes like Michelle go do something freaky every time he lands one.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I do that thing you like if you get them to laugh.
Man.
Oh, hey.
Well, that's the thing is like when this is all over, it's not like the work's going to be over, right? Like even if, even as we speak, there's protests going on in Waukegan and in Waukegan, Illinois, and Philadelphia, Washington, D.C. There's been instances still where Black lives are still getting taken by police. Do you feel drive to get back? I mean, I know you've been out with some stuff still. Or do you feel like any of these other situations are drawing your attention at all? Or I mean, it's crazy, right? Like,
yeah. Well, my thing is like, it's always going to draw your attention. You know what I mean? As far as like, well, what are you asking? Are you asking like, is something going to compel us to go back out? Or
yeah,
like,
I mean, do you feel like because I feel like there was a period of time where it was every day, right? And like in Portland at one point, it was like, I don't know, where were they, 60 some odd days in a row or something they were protesting out there. Yeah. There was stuff going. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's some I'm in some racist ass community groups in Chicago where they think anytime they see 4 Black people walking down the street, they ask if it's a Black Lives Matter protest going on. But like, you know, the issue in Waukegan is a situation in which literally people parked and
a big reason, I'll say this, like the Waukegan's nuts. A big reason why we stopped is because, believe it or not, we were actually becoming like we were being watched. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that was something that was like, and that was starting to scare all of us. You know what I mean? Like literally they knew, like even police, you know what I mean? Like, remember that Columbus thing? That's funny. James was there. We're leaving and this cop car passes us and stops right in front of us. And this guy, like literally he points at all of us and he just goes, "What's up?" And then goes thumbs up. So it was getting to a point where they were fucking watching us. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how crazy this shit really is. That's how much they don't want to see us, you know.
I remember that because when we were dropping in doing the midweeks, I remember James was not he was a little jumpy. He was a little nervous.
Yeah, and I think that's where my question is whether it's driving you to more action or to be more cautious of your action or kind of pick and choose your places a little bit, or do you see it taking you somewhere? I mean, you know, like I was out, like I was telling my daughter about this because she's 14 and I'm like, man, I was out protesting during the Rodney King shit when I was like your age. And now here I am watching you post shit about social justice. You know what I mean? It's just like, and for me, my path took a different place, right? Like I didn't get directly to activism. I ended up going different routes with it. So I'm just wondering, like, you know,
I think if I could speak for, like, you know, if I could speak for me, I think I've been on, I would say that I'm like, radical is not the best word to use, but like I would definitely go back out. But as far as the message we want to make, you know what I'm saying? I think it's best for us to sort of put it out the way we've been putting it out since then. Because at the end of the day, if they look for, I mean, think about somebody like Mohawk Johnson, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like how all that shit is still being skewed to make it look like he was, you know, in the wrong, but that's, you know, because he was out there and everything like that. And that's not the case. You know what I'm saying? Right. I think we've been doing what our transition process has been is like continue pushing that message from our location. If something like really drives us to get back out and, you know, we'll be there, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But right now, especially with how you see it, especially with how things are skewed, how things are going, we got to, like, you know, you're right. Pick and choosing our spots is definitely the approach we've had to take.
You're also a comic. And so, you know, do you see, like, I feel like I was supposed to have a show at Zany's coming up this next Thursday, but obviously everything is shut down now. So that's not happening for anybody. Right. But like,
that's the whole weekend.
I feel like my material before the pandemic and before all this shit was, there was, you know, political and charges at tradition that I kind of like poked at, but it was a lot lighter than I think the stuff I've been writing lately is.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm sitting here, I was geared up for Thursday because I'm like, this is gonna be a whole different 8 minutes y'all about to get than the 8 minutes you've been getting. Do you feel like that's changed a path or a pattern in kind of how you are responding creatively when it comes to things like the jokes that you're telling or the format?
Yeah, because, you know, you're trying to, because I've been trying to work bits in about, you know, social justice into my material and stuff. It's always it's one of those things where I'm like, damn, I want to make this, I want to find the comedy in this, You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry, my camera fell. I apologize.
We're all good.
You know what I mean? I'm like, I want to.
Comedy is timing, and that works out.
Yeah, dude.
That worked out.
Yeah. I got bits, and I wanna put that in more. But I guess you always battle with that. Like, am I telling jokes, or am I preaching? You know what I'm saying?
Am I just yelling at these motherfuckers?
Yeah, exactly. Because I'll tell you what, this happened to me. Like last week or whatever. I go to an open mic in the city, and there was a comic who actually said, a white comic who actually said the N-word, hard R. You know what I'm saying? Like straight, you know what I mean? Like no context really. They dropped it. You know what I'm saying? And so
Where was this at?
Huh?
Where was this at?
This
Tell the
happened
whole
down,
story, Dwayne. Tell the whole story.
Yeah, we got time. Let's hear the story.
Yeah, we gotta have it. This happened like it wasn't on the south side. It was below the train. But I go there and there was a moment where at this mic you could say there's a joke that one comic made earlier in the night who was a black comic and was like, man, if you say the N-word, you get an extra minute. It was just like a fly off joke, you know what I'm saying? Because it's one of those mics where everybody's trying to do dark shit. You know how we get comments and stuff. But so he said it as like a one-off. So it wasn't even like it was a fucking thing where he was like promoting it. He just said it. You know what I'm saying? So, people laughed at it, blah, blah, blah. Well, then this comment goes up like 2 people later. And before they say anything else, they just go, nigger, like straight, like, and I'm like, and then, it gets that uncomfortable laugh where everybody's like, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, I feel my chest fucking like caving in. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Right.
And I was like, I went a few comics later, and I like the whole time I'm trying not to, like, I'm trying to figure out what my jokes are. You know what I'm saying? But there's nothing on my mind. It's like somebody took a void stamp, those big red boy. They were just like, ah, you know what I'm saying? Like, nigga, you know what I'm saying? So I got up there, and then my whole set was basically ranting about how all y'all trying to come up with all these fucking jokes and shit. Is nobody gonna talk about this fucking person saying nigga in front of the black people? You know? And then, and not even in front of.
What are we protesting for? What is?
Thank you. That's what I'm saying. Like, you expect young citrus not to feel the burn, baby.
Hey, I know I'm about to sound real anti-revolutionary, but fuck y'all. That's funny as fuck. Like, you get the extra minute. He say nigga, and he went up to the first thing he said was nigga. That's actually ballsy and funny. Now, he deserves to get punched in the mouth for it.
Yeah.
He was willing to get punched in the mouth for the joke.
I tell you what, it would have been nice if the rest of that time there was some better punchlines. All right, that was part of my.
So that's the thing is like what would have been funny is if he somehow would have manufactured a way to make it work in a joke.
Yeah.
If all he would have had to say was,
just going up there and yelling it. Just going up.
If I get my minute right.
Actually, it was a girl. So it was a
girl. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, somebody should have punched her in the mouth for sure. Equality. That's the wrong way to go about equality, but
I just like
another woman should have punched her in the mouth. Is that that equal? Is that fair?
Another woman. But that's what. But it brings it back to my point where it's like, I want more social justice shit in my material. I want that to be a big part of what I'm doing on stage and everything. But I think I ended up, when I went up there and ranted, a part of it, I had some funny spots, but I definitely sacrificed the whole set just to be like, I am never going to let you fucking say, you know what I mean? And so I look back on that and I'm just like, I just need to figure out how to play with it. It's just going to take time.
Yeah, like even when you go for somebody, you want to be able to like there is a way, right? Like as comics, we know like there is a way I can get this motherfucker, but right now I'm just so mad.
Yeah, literally, that's what I was saying. And it was it's just like, and then when I was upset because I go back to have a cigarette and I'm like, damn, I had like 2 other punchlines I wanted to do.
So here's the thing that's weird. I feel like in those moments, if I have like a moment of actual rage, like something catches me off guard where I stop thinking about comedy and I just start focusing on you, that when I have that moment of rage, that's when I'm at my motherfucking best, because that's when the can I say this? How will this go? All that shit comes off because like the rage is taking over. I mean, I'm not gonna tell the fucking story again, but the open mic thing when that dude fucking flipped me off. That was a moment of rage. And I didn't give a fuck about anything. I hurt that nigga's feelings for weeks.
Yeah, you're good in the rage. You're good. You're good when you hit the rage. Speaking of rages, obviously, like we were just talking about, they've shut down all the shows in Chicago again.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they didn't specifically just shut down the shows, but like everything essentially.
Everything. Open mic. I had an open mic I ran. I shut it down.
Yeah, it's a mess. I'm up in Milwaukee.
I like how brave you were to shut it down when the mayor said shut every fucking. I was real bold of you, champ.
Yeah, I'm up in Milwaukee and they've shut all the stuff down here too. I mean, there's been a lot of blame that's gone towards Lightfoot. There's been a lot of blame that's gone towards Pritzker, but the reality is, right, like they're not driving around spraying coronavirus on niggas, right? That's not
as far as I know.
As far as I know, right? That's not
shooting them out like a t-shirt gun. It's like
Oprah's not back in Chicago handing it. Look under your seat. She's not.
Remember when Trump back to his rally? When Trump still had COVID, went back to his rally throwing masks at people.
Hey man, if we have time later, I am reevaluating whether or not that nigga had COVID. I don't believe it now.
I still think he does. I think he did.
Yeah,
I think he did. You got to remember though, the numbers are like it's still in the high 90s of people that recover, and even if you're over 70, the recovery rate is still.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the speed. They had this nigga on oxygen on Friday, and on Monday, this nigga jogging around and dancing.
You know what that tells me?
Steroids and shit, but goddamn.
That's what that tells me, though. That tells me that if all Americans had the same treatment as he got, then we'd have probably lost less lives too.
Man,
yeah,
that's the other part of it, right? But like, I don't know. I mean, we're in the comedy community, so we know a lot of people that work shit jobs. Are you running into a lot of your friends that are stuck? I mean, you're in a younger age group too. Are you running into a lot of your friends who are stuck having to be at work and go into a place of business and deal with this? What type of bullshit are people running into, like friends of yours?
Well, at first, I'll tell you. At first, because I was working in a restaurant when everything like shut down and everything. Yeah. So I was seeing that. You know what I mean? My friends, they worked at this garden center across the street. You know what I mean? So they had to go in every day and like deal with that. But as of right now, it's just, I think it's as far as working, things are normalized again. A lot more people are like getting back out and finding work and shit. As long as they're not, serving drinks. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. that's really the hardest thing. And it makes me sad because like I really enjoyed bartending and stuff. The hardest industry that's going to be hit for a long time will be food service. We were the first ones to shut down. We'll definitely be the last ones that can get back to like normal and everything like that. Like my business, I worked at Dick's Last Resort downtown.
Yeah.
Right on the water. You know what I'm saying? If you're familiar with it in Chicago, it's been here for 30 years. It's legendary
spot. Yeah.
Legendary spot. And they shut down, dude. And then the shutdown lasted so long that they literally went out of business. Like they can't. Like we're done now, you know what I'm saying? Like
I didn't know that.
I mean, maintaining the lease in that spot downtown is not easy.
Yeah. That's
the location. Right, oh my god! Next to the House of Blues, it's underneath the Marina City Towers. Like it was in the best spot in Chicago.
How long that place been there? I used to sneak in there before I was 21.
Right.
Yeah. Dude. Dick's is, dude. And I loved working at Dick's, man, and definitely helped me as a comedian too, because you're just like. You got to be an asshole. You got to fuck with people. So you got to be funny.
Talk shit.
You got to be quick.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you said a lot of your friends are getting back to work now. Are they getting back to work in different kinds of jobs? Are you seeing a lot of people just doing, I mean, what's been the push?
Most of my friends have found other restaurant jobs and stuff like that. I've been volunteering over at that garden center. Well, not as a semi-volunteer. I don't know what they call it, but I get paid way less than somebody who works there. But I've been like volunteering. It's called slavery. Let's just call it what it is. You know what I mean? Sharecropping. That's what I'm over here doing.
You're sharecropping right now.
You working in a garden?
Can I take home an ear of corn, sir?
You working in a field and there are a bunch of other black men like yourself.
That's my new favorite bit to tell. Is that I've been protesting all summer, but like I don't tell nobody I work in the field for 5 days a week. You know what I'm saying? Like
urban sharecropping right now.
On the weekends, I'm like, no justice, no peace. But Monday through Friday, I'm like, yeah, come on, boss, what you want to do out here? You know, I got you. I got you, Bob. I'm gonna dig.
You got a shoulder satchel just putting vegetables in the mom.
Oh yeah, let me tell you about my time. You know, all that shit. You know what I'm saying? So,
singing old spirituals and shit.
Fucking work in the dirt. You know everything. Right. So
are you? I mean, so I know a lot of people are going back to work. I'm in an urban spot here in Milwaukee where it's bad. You know, I live with somebody who works in the prison system in Wisconsin, and it's not awesome. Are you running into a lot of friends who are dealing with it? Have you had friends who've gotten super sick? I mean, have you had some other people that have like come back? I mean,
nobody that I know has like caught it or got sick or anything like that. So that's a blessing, you know, in a sense. Obviously, I've heard of like I guess comedians in this comedy community who have tested positive, but none of them are showing like major symptoms or anything like that. So I've been blessed to not be near any type of like real, you know what I mean, sick people. So
yeah. Have you voted yet?
Yes, I voted back in August.
Got your vote in already. That's cool. Yeah, we've all. I think James, you voted too, right? Or are you eligible? Are you a convict? What's your deal?
I have not.
The only non-black dude.
Yeah, that's how.
I got some warrants.
Illinois, you can still vote.
But no, I have not voted yet. I'm going on election day. It's right across the street.
You're going on day. Oh yeah, and they're not going to try and stop you.
Are you not?
They better not. Like I said, I got warrants. They better not.
Being a line?
What's up?
Are you not concerned about there being a line?
No, not really, because most of the people I think in our neighborhood have already early voted, so we should be okay. And I have all fucking day. I'll stay in that line.
You can check it out in the morning, and if it's not clear, you can stop back a little bit later and probably be just fine with it. Not too much.
Me and the wife are going like at 8 a.m, so we'll be there.
Have you? Go ahead, X.
I voted last Saturday. I tried to vote right after the show. I can't remember, right before or after the show last week. And I pulled up and there was a line and I didn't know if I can go in or not. I found out I can go in and just drop it in because I was doing absentee voting, but you can drop it off in the drop box and you don't have to wait in line. And doing it that way, I just realized something. I don't understand why we don't do it that way for everybody all the time, because everyone has looked at a ballot and seen races that you didn't know what the fuck they were. Like, you didn't know who that person was, what that judge did. You didn't have time to look it up. And you're standing in a voting booth having to make a decision on whether or not this person's going to put people away or give people's property away or whatever. And you don't know shit about them. But because I had the ballot at home for like 2 weeks, I think I had it for like a week and a half before I actually dropped it off. I looked up I Googled some motherfuckers. Like,
yeah, that's the best way to do it, man.
Like a take-home test for your leaders.
Shit going on. You divorcing your wife and trying to.
You can't be a judge.
Yeah,
that's why I did. Well, yeah, that's why I did mine back in August, because I vote absentee. I still have like my registered residence is still in Virginia.
Okay.
Until like next year. I got one more year before that's over, so I have to vote in Virginia. I had to Google motherfuckers. They're like, yeah, we want to, because they're the Virginia Beach. They're like, yeah, we want to put a tram downtown. So who do you think? Who do you think is good for that? And I'm like, I don't know shit. I ain't been back there.
Who are we displacing by putting this tram in? Right? Like that's exactly the question. You start getting a little deeper.
But you're right, X. Like voting at home, exactly. I think more people. I think that's how everybody should do it.
It's like it's 100%. It is totally safe. There's no reason. Like nobody thinks the fucking mail is shifty. I've never like worried about whether or not something that was important coming to me in the mail was going to get here. Like up until this year, when Trump started fucking with the mail, with the post office, or Trump's person or whatever, started fucking with the post office, I never even thought twice about something in the mail. If it was a day or two late for some reason, there was usually like a hurricane.
This has been the first year I've had mail issues, and it's been this summer. And my mail issues have been apparent closer to the voting time. Like I had something I ordered from like downtown Milwaukee from like a professional office that they could track where it was sent out from, and I ordered that in September. And I still ain't got that shit. I ordered that shit like mid-September. That shit is in the mail somewhere.
Dude, I've been talking about it.
5 miles away, right? Like 5 miles away.
How could they not get there? I've been watching. I see the mail people outside my house, bro. They're out at like 10 o'clock at night with a fucking
second ballot.
Yeah, bro.
I had to get a second ballot. My first ballot never came. I had to contact the city of Milwaukee and be like, yo, man, I didn't get my ballot. And then they had to send me a second one and cancel the first.
Yeah, they for real with it, dude.
It's right now where all the issues are happening. It's happening in real life with that. It's happening on Facebook. There's been are you guys familiar with the Section 230 hearings? Do you guys know about all that crazy shit that's been going on?
All of them were south. The 4 big guys came out and spilled it.
Yeah. They've been. It was supposed to be a hearing where they're going to try and talk about these giant powers with like Google and Facebook and Twitter and how they deal with information and people's privacies, right? And they had this hearing, and these Republicans are leading this hearing. Marsha Blackburn was one of them. She spent her opening time like questioning whether some employee that was mean to her before still worked for the company. Like,
yeah, I think. I'm not sure if it's Ron Johnson. I feel like that was his name. Was a Republican cat. I believe his name is Johnson. But
yeah, the cat from Wisconsin. He's an asshole.
Yeah. This motherfucker. He literally read the tweet, and I'm not gonna. The short of it was somebody said that Ron Johnson would come to his neighbor's house and strangle their pets, strangle their dogs, and then at the end of the tweet he goes, "Obviously, I'm lying. But Twitter won't take it down, take this lie down, so I'm just gonna keep lying about it." And it was clearly a joke. And he literally read that with those words in it, and then said, "How is this not election suppression? This is voter suppression. Because if somebody thinks I'm strangling this guy's neighbor's dog, they're not gonna vote for me." And I was like, man, if they read that and believe that you were strangling a dog, I know
people believe anything, bro. Like they do. Dude, like I'm sorry, like they believe anything, especially Trump people. Like they believe anything this nigga says, bro.
The crazy shit coming on the right. Like, so I sent a picture, and I think James is gonna post it. So if you're watching this, you can check it out. But the right has these ideas about Hunter Biden and the fact that he's already met with the FBI. If you're seeing it on your screen, it should be up there now. James has it up for you to check it out. And it's this whole idea that he's already met with the FBI. Let me see if I'll read it. We got it. Hunter Biden has turned himself into the FBI. He was personally interviewed this afternoon by Barr and 6 other Justice Department lawyers. He has been stashed in a medical facility in Washington, D.C., where he is getting treatment for his addictions. First of all, this guy's not been addicted to shit for years, okay? So far, he has signed statements and provided proof of over $300 million in bribes the Biden family has received in the last 20 years. The funds are hidden in several accounts in Switzerland, and Hunter has provided proof that Joe Biden has been accessing these accounts and using funds for years. So far, the evidence shows Joe Biden has personally removed over $45 million in cash and used it for personal items. The information has been forwarded to a special unit of the IRS for investigation. Barr will be meeting with Biden on Friday and recommend he either withdraw from the race or face numerous criminal charges. If he withdraws from the race and forfeits all funds in the accounts, the Biden family and specifically Hunter will not face criminal charges. This is the bullshit that they're putting out right now.
Like nothing works like that. Nothing works like that. Nothing in America works like that.
It's too many elements coming together. It's people bribing them, and then they moving the money to Switzerland, and they taking the money out, and they like niggas.
How these motherfuckers can believe that convoluted shit, but can't believe a mask will work? Hey man, it's embarrassing that we lose to these motherfuckers, man. It's embarrassing. And I'm not even talking about Republican, Democrat. I'm talking about black people. How the fuck did we lose to them? Like, seriously.
Well, they had better weapons at the time. No, at
the time. Well, that's the thing, though. Hillary, I'll tell you what fucked Hillary up, especially with black people. She went on the Breakfast Club and busted out that goddamn hot sauce. And I was like, niggas don't trust you now.
Man, I'm talking about 1555. Fuck Hillary.
I mean, there is some truth in that, though. There is some truth about that, though. Like, I do wish a lot more times that white folks would just say, look, I'm not black, but y'all are dope. I'm not going to pretend like I can do black people shit because that would be ridiculous. Yeah. But like, you guys getting a fair shake would be awesome, and just and be like, that's all I got. I don't know. Why should I be saying?
That's enough.
But like, y'all been treated unfairly. I'm not gonna do any weird shit to make y'all think that I know you any better than I do. I'd like to know more of you better. How about
That is the most endearing. I've had moments like that with someone. That is the most endearing thing ever. Like, dude, I don't know shit about the struggle, but I know there is one, and I'm with you, bro.
Yeah. I know if I had to be in a struggle, it would piss me off, and I'd be like, yeah, okay, we can talk now. Like,
oh, that's fine,
the Matty Ryan Humanitarian Award.
right? Yeah, if you know comic Matty Ryan, that is how Matty Ryan has probably endeared himself to almost most of the comics I like that are like Kenny DeForest.
Senator Perdue.
Yeah, I was just about to say Kenny DeForest.
You know, where it's that same thing with Sean White, similar to where he's just like, I don't know your struggle, but I've been around seeing
James
y'all
too,
struggle
man.
enough. Yeah, James is the
too,
same.
man. Y'all watch. I don't know. Y'all watch my podcast. I'll be yelling black shit at this nigga for like an hour a week. I'll be like, you know they fucking with us. So he's like, yeah, I know, man.
That's a really good James you just did, dog.
Yeah, I know, man. Yeah.
I mean,
I mean, the attempts at disinformation that they put out there are so crazy, and then they get called on it and they just kind of sit through it. Like, and now they're like skipping debates. Like in the past couple of days, there's been 3 guys, some senator from Kansas, Lindsey Graham, and now Dave Perdue is skipping his last debate in Georgia with John Ossoff. Do you know about this cat, John Ossoff, Dwayne? This cat, John Ossoff. James is going to play this video. It's like a minute of this.
This is awesome, man. Enjoy this.
Yeah. Check this video out of Ossoff confronting Dave Perdue in Georgia.
You would have been able to respond properly to the COVID-19 pandemic if you hadn't been fending off multiple federal investigations for insider trading. It's not just that you're a crook, Senator. It's that you're attacking the health of the people that you represent. You did say COVID-19 was no deadlier than the flu. You did say there would be no significant uptick in cases. All the while, you were looking after your own assets and your own portfolio, and you did vote 4 times to end protections for pre-existing conditions. 4 times. And the legislation that you tout, the PROTECT Act, it includes loopholes that specifically allow insurance companies to deny policies to Georgians with pre-existing conditions. Can you look down the camera and tell the people of this state why you voted 4 times to allow insurance companies to deny us health coverage because we may suffer from diabetes or heart disease or asthma or have cancer in remission? Why, Senator?
That's wild, right? That's just some.
I don't know what's better about that. The way he's staring at dude and pausing for like, you gonna answer that shit? No, because I got more. Okay. And I don't know if that's better or how he makes dude straightens up and like looks straight forward, just like if he just doesn't look at him, maybe the madman will stop. Like,
nah, he is reading that nigga, bro. Like, yeah, he looking at
him hard.
Yeah.
That you're a crook.
He straight up called homie a crook.
He called him a crook and waited for him to try to deny he was a crook. Like, yeah, I said it. Yeah. I'm gonna let that hang in the air. And now I'm about to smack you. Like, it was.
There's another clip that I didn't load just because that's too many clips to put on one show. But like, there's another clip where he calls him out because John Ossoff is Jewish, and there's another clip where he calls out Perdue because he's like, you had ads where you lengthened my nose in the ad to make me look like I was more Jewish, you know.
Jesus.
And, yeah. And so, I guess I mean
it's Georgia, Dwayne.
Right.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's true. I don't know why I'm acting all weird.
I mean, we got an election coming up on Tuesday. Obviously, through a lot of this, I mean, you said you've been through a lot of protest stuff in your life, and now you've continued on here. So obviously, there's some political understanding going on with you as well. I mean, we got a big election coming. Are you seeing this as a chance at a turnaround? I mean,
it's funny. For the longest time, I was like, ain't no way Trump is not gonna get reelected. I know that maybe it may sound problematic, but I was just like, it just felt like it didn't matter what this dude did, he was gonna get another 4 years. Something has changed, at least in the last couple of months, in my opinion. I think Trump does not have like the ammo or the same kind of, like, he's pulling a lot of the same plays he was pulling in 2016. and some old shit. And I just don't think people are reading that the same way this time than they were last time. You know what I'm saying?
The fact that he's broke, I think, says everything. The fact that, because like the
campaign is broke.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. The campaign is broke. But here's the thing that people don't understand. The reason why he was so desperate to have the rallies and the reason why he's so focused on having the rallies is because his rallies aren't just a bunch of people show up and listen to this nigga talk. Like that's walk through a whole it's a festival. It's like a little mini like block festival, and they're selling people shit and they're getting credit card information and they're doing all this other shit. And that's how these motherfuckers was making money. And he didn't have any other way to make money when he couldn't do fucking
all the grifters that support him make part of their money to support him by selling shit at those rallies, because they go there and they got books and all types of shit, and here's a convention coming up, and then those people that run those companies use that money they make to funnel it into the campaign. Like that's usually how they do it. So
but I think that's why that Tulsa shit was so key though, you know what I mean? Because they were like, that would have been a great like kickstart to whatever they wanted to do. When they found out all these TikTok kids were just bought fake tickets. You know what I'm saying? Like he has never, I mean, he's talked about it a little bit, but you could tell he was like, well, I watched that rally act, which was weird. I watched that one specifically.
The Herman Cain Memorial Tulsa rally?
The final Herman Cain on stage rally?
Yeah, I watched that one, and I was like, when I saw nobody out there, you just saw dudes just wandering around, just like, what is happening here? It was empty, bro.
I mean, he fought to ban TikTok over what he believes was a thing that happened in a rally, right? Like I don't even know. Did they even confirm that's exactly what happened? That it was specifically like, I know that's the story.
No, but again, it gets back to my whole black people being right theory. It's like, okay, let's look at the steps. All right, you ain't have shit to say about TikTok ever, and then all of a sudden you realize TikTok fucked up one of your rallies, and now it's like, China. TikTok, it's the same. It's like, nigga, it's like, that's what I'm saying.
Black is TikTok probably didn't even fuck up his rally, but since people said
that's what I'm saying.
That allows him.
Yeah. No, I bet you the nigga that owns it supports him. I will put money on that right now, nigga. Straight up, because all
the
these
guy's
niggas,
a billionaire. Yeah, if he's a billionaire, probably. You know,
exactly.
There's not a lot of billionaires who are anti-Trump. There's not really many. You know, even the ones who are anti-Trump need him to, like, they benefit from him, right? Like Bezos.
It's hard to understand systemic oppression when you are sitting on $1 billion.
Even if Bezos is fundamentally opposed to Trump, he has benefited from the fuck up of the pandemic.
Exactly,
like billions of dollars, right? So like. It's hard to hate a guy who just made you $30 billion.
It's a saying, dude.
By fucking up, you know.
I'm actually surprised. The market dropped significantly this week, but it did not drop as much as I had been thinking it was. I thought we were gonna have another 1,500, 1,200 point drop at one point this week. I think the biggest one we had was 950. It actually finished up on Thursday, but rich people are very happy because they're making money and. Because they're still selling us shit. Everybody took that stimulus package. People who kept working, they started buying. They're still buying shit online. Amazon is doing great. We're still buying shit, but eventually, at some point, inventories are not going to be there.
Admittedly, one of the things Biden brings to the table is I think the market would be in a lot more of a precarious position. As much as I would have loved him to rather be there, had it been Bernie versus Trump, and Bernie was up by 11 or 12 points with 4 days to go. I think corporations are a lot more concerned about Bernie Sanders in the end than Joe Biden. Even if Joe Biden is going to be, even if he might be just by happenstance the most progressive president, just because of the timing of when he gets into office, not necessarily because he personally is driven to be progressive, but just timing for him to succeed at all requires it, right? And so but the market is stable because corporations generally trust that Joe Biden will still be down for corporations to make money. And so I think they're saying, like, even if Biden wins, like, business is generally going to keep moving forward.
100%, dude. Like, how do you, like, Biden, like, come on, look at how he won that election. You were just like, it was like Bernie was locked up for a long. You were just like, nah. All of a sudden, Biden was just like, I'm here.
So
it's business, bro.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say his name because a particular comedy godfather in Chicago is very low key. But 4 years ago, he texted me grab a poll that nobody else was talking about that ended up being right about Trump winning. And I texted him right before the show. And we're going to talk about it's a tease for something we have coming up next week. We're going to have him on the show, this comedy godfather.
Really?
Talk about the polls, baby.
He's going to be on the show?
We're going to make it happen. Me and him were just texting.
Nice.
And we're going to have some fun.
Nice.
Wow.
Plan your next show while I'm on this one. Okay, nice. Nice.
See,
We gotta get the teasers out, man. We got. Hey, we teased you last week. We teased you last week. We got to tease. We tease them all the time, man.
I appreciate it. Nah,
on some good teasing. Have you watched Borat 2 yet? Have you watched?
Yeah.
That?
I watched the other day.
Were you? Did you laugh the whole time? Were you upset? Did it make you cringe at all? I've been doing a little test.
I definitely laughed the whole time. I think I watched. So I haven't watched the original Borat since I saw it in theaters back in the day. So I watched them both the other day, and the second one, it definitely it had me cracking up. It did. You know what I mean? Like I like what they did with it. I like how they fit what's going on today into the movie without making it too so like dramatic and shit like that. Yeah. And also, I'm from New York, so fuck Giuliani. I was waiting to see that nigga. That is Mr. Stop and Frisk. Fuck that nigga, bro. I was trying to see that nigga in any type of compromising position.
It was, I think it was super. You know, the thing for me was I didn't find it to be. I mean, it was funny in the way that like he is funny, right?
Yeah.
But also, I'm watching it going like, fuck, this is America. This is
it's fucking like it was
shit, man. Like
But it's funny because I was watching. If you watch the one from back in 2006, and then you see a lot of scenes, you're like, God damn, dude. Like, I mean, it's gonna be people that watch it, like, damn, like I can't believe we've always been like this. And it's like, what have we been saying? You know what I mean? Like, it's literally there's a scene in the first one where he's like, I know this is how you're gonna survive. Don't look so Muslim. I was like, God damn, they put that shit in there. Nigga, like, yeah, bro.
I was after 9/11 already, so we were already into the. But again, that goes back to your theory of black people being right, because we've been hollering this shit for a long time that this country is fucked up. We've been hollering it for a minute. Other good shit that's out. Mandalorian, the second season is out now. Dwayne, you've already watched the episode. Actually,
I have.
I have not watched an episode. James has not watched the episode. It's you guys' faces make it seem like we need to be watching this episode.
I'm not disappointed in the first episode at
all. No.
I just want to see more Giancarlo Esposito. That is what I'm looking forward to in season 2.
Okay. Here's something we can talk about.
What can you tell us about Mandalorian?
This is from last season. It's not from this season, James. Giancarlo Esposito's saber. Is that like a? Do we call that a? Is that like a?
It's the dark saber.
The dark saber. It's the dark saber.
It's the dark saber, but that's just like a sword for real, though.
It is, yeah, because it was forged by a Mandalorian that had the Force. You know what I'm saying? So what we're leading up to is that eventually, I believe, what we're leading up to is this dude is gonna get that sword. You know what I'm saying? Because Mandalorians are all about collecting their heritage and shit.
Right. Yeah, they're always about regaining their heritage back, which would be the bomb-ass move.
I think that's why they dropped that on us. But yeah, this first episode was really good. It got you right back into the series. You know what I'm saying? They dropped a couple nuggets that you're like, oh shit, this is about to go there. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's good, bro. I'm a big fan.
Last thing I want to kind of talk about before we get out of here is you're from New York originally. We're both Chicagoans. I would guess that means that we all have a healthy dislike of Los Angeles sports teams.
Dude, when I lived in LA, that would be like the quickest way to make a friend. I'd be like, they hear me talking, they're like, you from Chicago? Yeah, I'm from New York. Hey, what's happening?
Yeah, we hate Los Angeles teams.
No, West Coast people, they think East Coast people are the cool, even Midwest. Like for some reason, they're just like, we're so weird. We're not weird to them, but we're like, they like us. You know
they think Chicago is on the East Coast. That's the first thing.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
They always think Chicago's on the East Coast. I'm like, do you know it's another 12 hours to drive to New York from Chicago? Nigga? That's another half day, dog.
You must go to New York all the time. Yeah.
But the Dodgers just won the World Series after the Lakers won the NBA title. And Justin Turner, who had to leave the game with coronavirus, was out on the field celebrating.
Yeah.
what the fuck? I just want to talk about the ridiculousness of this, and I don't know, get some thoughts on that before we get out of here.
If he would have came out and like had the fucking mask on, man, how do you not keep the fucking mask on? Just keep the mask on.
You know what?
I understand.
Go ahead.
You don't know if you ever go be in a World Series situation again, man. Like,
right, he's 35.
I can totally understand that. But keep the fucking mask. I'm not gonna be in the World Series picture with a mask on. Be this fucking story. Be the story, man. That's the fucking story. Like
you gotta think about it, X. You know what I mean? Remember, Chicago just won one after 100 years. All right? Imagine if Chicago won in 2020. You know what I'm saying? You think they putting them fucking masks on, nigga? Dude,
no. That would be forever the story.
This dude tested positive in the middle of the game.
Years old, holding my grandchild.
Yeah. But what you gonna do, man? He's the ace, bro. You like, goddamn, you striking niggas out. But where you go? I mean, listen, I'm a sports guy. All right, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sorry, bro. Like,
at the holograms of the picture, like that was the COVID year. That was the COVID season. You see, they got the mask on. That's how you remember it.
But if he found out during the game, it's like, well, damn, nigga, we done played half of it. So whatever, what's done is done. All right.
I do understand. But there's also like, you know, if their best closer gets it from him and then he's got half a lung and never comes back again, it seems like a silly way to like.
Also,
why'd you never win a second World Series? Why'd you never win a second World Series?
Al Davis, just win, baby. All right. You play to win the game. All right? That's what you do. I'm a sports guy, bro. I don't give a fuck.
Those players were around him all day, but there was other motherfuckers that had to be out there after they won that wasn't with that nigga all day.
Yeah,
all the
man.
Family in the bubble,
out there dragging
exactly.
on motherfuckers.
Think about the side piece he's probably got in the dugout. That's a real thing they do in the MLB. They keep their side pieces.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
You know what I mean? They all got it. So you know what? What's done is done. It's the 8th inning. I need these strikeouts, nigga. All right, get out there.
Dwayne, where can people find you online, man? How can people keep up with you?
Yeah, man. Oh, thank you so much. If you want to find me, man, on Instagram, Twitter, my handle is @Murphy Jr Jokes. It's all lowercase, Junior Jr, Murphy Jr Jokes. You can watch That's How I Feel, which is my podcast right here on the People of Comedy. Trying to, just grow that. You know what I mean? That's basically me.
Yeah, you gotta watch it, man. It's great. I've jumped in and it's just you just talking off the hip about like what's going on in the world, which is great.
It's basically giving therapy to myself. Somebody suggested therapy, and I was like, you know what? I could pay for studio time and do the same shit. Just fucking talk and get my shit out. So that's what I do that. And then Dwayne Murphy Jr. I'm on Facebook. I have a YouTube channel now. It's got some of my episodes on there, man. Yeah. And I'm just, trying to put myself on all these platforms so I can get booked and keep working,
Yeah, man, for sure. Thank you so much for coming on the show. We really appreciate it. X, where can people find you?
At XL Comedy, baby. XL Comedy.
For everything.
Facebook, Twitter, IG. All that.
Thanks for not drinking the tea today until the show is getting to the end. Appreciate that.
That's tomorrow for my birthday, baby.
X is usually high on mushroom tea by this point, so we appreciate that.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, you better slip me some of that, bro.
I'm probably gonna get into some today, but the election is close. You can find me at Mocha_Jesus on Twitter and Instagram. You can find the pod at New OGs Pod on Twitter and Instagram. We have all of our old episodes where we get pods. We're on YouTube. We're on Twitch every Friday on People of Comedy Network, which you can check out for all their other stuff. People of Comedy or People of Comedy Network. Check them out. We'll be back here next Friday with Clark Jones. That's what's up.
Hey.
And the Godfather giving us some answers on the election. Thanks for kicking it with us. We're out. That's what's up.
Whole lot of niggas changed since we came up. They can try to steal the moves, but they ain't us. Think you gang, but nigga, you a stranger. Bitches wanna fuck, but nigga, you can't blame us. You can't. Bitch, you better play your role. I feel like Nelly when he dropped that country grammar.